exclusively on ESPN Plus. UFC 313, Saturday. Reigning light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira defends his title against #1 contender Magomed Ankalaev, and an explosive lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Fiziev. UFC 313, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Her and I became texting more often. We hung out. What seemed to be, was gonna be, like a cool, viable friendship, just quickly turned south.
How?
As far as what I'm concerned, only she's gonna be able to tell you that, because as far as I've never done anything wrong to her. She's accusing me of stealing contacts.
This is the plaintiff, Kalina Jones. She says she loaned her friend, the defendant, money for a party she was having, and the woman refuses to pay her back. When she politely asked for it, the defendant got all kinds of aggressive with her. She tried to fight her in front of her kids, and she's here in the name of justice, seeking that $2,800 she's owed. This is the defendant, Kenya Tripp. She says she caters a lot of celebrity events, and the plaintiff, her neighbor, likes to hang out with her. She threw a Memorial Day party, and the party bus driver was giving her a hard time, and she needed to come up with some money so he would continue the job, and the plaintiff paid him. The plaintiff told her not to worry about paying her back until she decided the plaintiff was being sneaky, and she told her they weren't going to be friends any longer. Oh, her? No way. She's accused of being a party pooper. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for defamation of character and pain and suffering.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Kalina Jones, you are suing your former friend, Kenya Tripp, for $2,800 that you say she owes you in monies that you loaned her and pain and suffering and defamation of character. You are counterclaiming $2,000 for pain and suffering, defamation of character, wasted time.
Yes.
All right, what's going on?
I had met the defendant back in, I want to say July of 2017. I had purchased a drink off of her.
A what?
A drink. She sells mixed drinks. She makes her own mixed drinks, mixed alcoholic drinks.
Okay, go on.
So she was throwing a bus event, and she had sent me a text message with the information about her bus event or whatever. And
What was a bus event?
She was throwing a bus party laser tag event where we were supposed to do a pickup in Harlem and then go to Brooklyn and then go.
So everybody would pay what?
Whatever ticket. There was different.
How much was the ticket? How did it work out?
I believe, because I throw different parties, I believe the tickets range from maybe $75 to $150.
All right, go on.
So upon purchasing one of the tickets with that, her and I became texting more often. We hung out. What seemed to be, was going to be, like a cool, viable friendship, just quickly turned south.
How?
As far as what I'm concerned, only she's going to be able to tell you that, because as far as I've never done anything wrong to her. She's accusing me of stealing contacts. And
okay, now let's back up. When's the first time you loaned her money, according to you?
The first time, I want to say April or May. I have the screenshot.
And what money did you loan her and why?
She came to the house around to the area that we live in, and she told me that she went upstairs for a few seconds. I guess it was to take things out of her car, and then her car ended up getting towed. She immediately called me oh, can you please let me borrow this, borrow that? It was April 30th. Because my car got towed, and if
borrow what?
She needed the $200. I'm sorry.
So you loaned her the $200?
Yes, I had transferred it to her.
Is there any dispute about that?
The way she's saying it happened, yeah.
No. Did she loan you $200 to pay your? That's what I'm asking.
Yes.
So do you owe her those $200?
No, she actually told me I didn't have to pay her back the $200, which I actually even have in text as well.
Okay, let me see your text about the $200. Let me see your text about how she doesn't have to. You don't have to pay her back. Can you look for it in your phone in actual context? Because I don't like to look at text on paper. What is that? That has nothing to do with the $200.
It does. If you see at the bottom, it says, well, if I said the $200 on me, then okay. Because she actually told me that I didn't have to pay.
Okay, show me where she actually says the $200 on you, not where you argue with her about whether she said the $200.
No,
just stop. Don't thank me and show me where she originally says, don't worry, it's on me. Not where you persuade her of that when you're arguing with her. I want to know where she originally says it. Do you have that, yes or no?
It was a conversation.
Okay. All right, so first there's 200. Then how much later is there 1,545?
That happens a month later.
Okay. On laser tag day?
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
We all rendezvoused at 125th Street where the bus was supposed to pick up the people who was coming from the Bronx and Harlem and going on the bus. And from Harlem, it goes to Brooklyn, from Brooklyn to Long Island City. Upon us reaching Brooklyn, when the Brooklyn patrons got on the bus, she pulled me off of the bus and was like, oh, like, Kalina, you know, I have, like, the money. It's coming into my account. There's just, like, other pending funds. I need you to be able, if you can help me out.
Wait, why is she doing a bus trip if she doesn't have the money to cover the bus trip? But why are you loaning her the money?
I loaned it to her.
Why don't you just say, no, I can't?
I loaned it to her because what I was thinking about, it wasn't just thinking about just like, all right, at that time, her and I, we were still friends and we were still cool. I did see the amount of like time and effort that she did put into this.
Wait,
and it was
I don't care. She got money from every single person there.
Yeah,
which
and it didn't,
what she charges is above and beyond what the trip costs. That's how you make money putting these trips together.
Exactly.
So then what did she do with the money?
It was still posting. It hadn't deposit yet into her account.
So she says, why is this not a her problem instead of a you problem?
And then she showed it to me like on her phone, like through like her banking app. And she showed it to me, and with that, you know,
So you decided to loan her the money?
Yeah, because, you know, I thought about also not just that.
How long earlier? Yes, I know you're very sweet that everybody has to do laser tag if they said they were going to.
No, I
don't understand. The trip was already in process. What was going to happen to ruin that?
Excuse me, what was going to happen?
In other words, if she tells you, oh, I need the money, how was it going to ruin the trip?
Because the bus wasn't going to move. Nobody would have made it.
All of a sudden, the bus decides at that moment that they don't have the money?
Yeah, when the company of the bus called the bus driver and let the bus driver know that the deposit did not go through on Miss Tripp's card, then they stopped the bus. So now, in order for us to get from Brooklyn to laser tag, or even from Brooklyn back home.
Okay, tell me about that. What was it that happened?
What happened is the people kept telling me for one, the bus was late. So I guess we went over time. So after a while, I guess after every 30 minutes, they charged me an additional $350.
Yeah, but if it's before laser tag, it's still within the time you thought you'd be.
That's what I was saying, but they kept saying, we're running behind. So I'm like, I don't understand how we're running behind.
Either way, so they decide that you have to pay $1,500. How much had you paid them?
It was actually $1,845.
How much had you paid them at that point?
At that point, I had already put maybe $800 down on it because to even book the
$800 wasn't going to cover that size of a trip.
Right.
So you still owed the money no matter what.
I still owed the $1,845.
So then you didn't have the money to pay for the original trip. It had nothing to do with extra hours.
No, I had the money. What it was is they didn't ask for the money until later on. They were already saying that everything was late. So literally everybody's partying.
So did you ask her for $1,500?
It was $1,845.
Did you ask her for $1,800?
Yes.
How much did she give you?
She gave me the $1,845.
For real? Mm-hmm. According to you, it's $1,545?
It was $1,545. I have the screenshot of the actual limo company because what it is that was the deposit amount.
Okay, was there ever a figure of $1,845?
No, that was the conclusive figure as far as it goes with this, the $200, and then she was also like...
No, okay.
Mm-hmm, that was
Was $1,845 ever run by the limo company?
No.
That's what I wanted to know. All right, so in any event, you know, when she transfers the money, she's not supposed to eat it, right? She's loaning you money that you're going to pay back.
Right.
All right. And so why haven't you paid back the $200 or the $1,545, which according to you is $1,845?
I thought it was more.
All right, whatever. So what is your defense?
Yes. Initially, the reason that I didn't pay her back was because That day, the next day when I told her I would pay her back, she said, you know what, I seen how they did you the day before. Don't worry about it until after your next party. My next party, I don't think was planned until August. She then, again, she was hanging around me, so she started taking some of my contacts because I do celebrity events. I have a business called Disrespectfully Drunk. She started hanging with people.
Disrespectfully Drunk?
Yes.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Well, we're very respectful.
Respectfully drunk, fun. I would get.
I have respectfully drunk. That's my virgin liquor line.
Okay, go ahead.
So we have disrespectfully drunk. So basically, she was like, you know, don't worry about it. I seen how they did you. Pay me after the next party.
Okay, so did you have that party?
Yes, I ended up having.
Did you pay her after that party?
She sued me prior to that party. She blocked me on Cash App, even prior to this lawsuit.
But did you pay her back after that party?
She already sued me before the party.
I know you're angry she sued you, but
no,
we're
it's not
here
about
now.
I'm angry she sued me.
So wait.
You're not letting me answer the question.
You're not listening to me. I don't care if she sued you. Did you pay her after the party? You said, well, I didn't have to pay her until after the party. So when the party happened, did you pay her?
How? If she has a restraining order against me, she blocked me on everything. She told me she has trespassing harassment.
What does that have to do with sending a check? You don't know how to mail a check?
Yes, I can mail a check.
Oh, okay.
I can.
You know how to transfer funds on
She
your
wouldn't allow me. I tried. It's in messaging as well.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, does it make sense that defendant said I can't pay the plaintiff because she has a restraining order out against her?
Absolutely not. There's more than one way to get in contact with someone.
Or a hemplo?
I mean, either way, she's wrong.
No, that means for example.
Oh.
Send an email or send a text message.
Well, or send a what?
A letter or anything.
Send a what?
Send a check.
Good. Good. Going inside the courtroom.
All right, now tell me about your counterclaim against her for $2,000 for pain and suffering.
Okay.
Wait, hold on one second. You had amended your lawsuit this morning to add $300 for Laser Park Place until all the bus tickets were sold. What's that about? Maybe that's why she's thinking it's 1845.
Exactly.
That's the other.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Tell me
that's
about that.
Conducive. When she had told me about the Laser Park tag, right? At first, she had booked the Laser Park tag, but then when the Laser Park people, like the workers, realized that it was booked for Memorial Day weekend, they was trying to get out of it. So she had to hurry up and like drop the deposit. They was telling her like, well, if we don't receive your deposit by that, like by 5 o'clock today, we're not going to be able to do, the party
What deposit?
here.
You're already at laser tag.
No. This is prior to.
Oh, so there was another 300?
Yeah, this is prior to even the event happening because.
And she got that from you too?
Yeah, because she needed that right then and there.
When do you start? Where do you get all your money?
Moment.
Where do you get all your money that you're always like her bank?
She steals it from her grandmother.
Oh yeah, my grandmother bought me everything that I have on today.
Her grandmother's dyslexic, and from a family friend of hers.
What does a grandmother being dyslexic have to do with taking her money? Do you know what dyslexia is?
She has dementia. She has dementia.
Oh, dementia.
And so she's not aware of her. Right, I'm sorry.
Okay,
she has from my understanding, she had, and this is what she told me along with her friend, her mom passed away, left her grandmother money. She takes the money and transfer it from her grandmother's account into her account.
Okay.
You stole the money to give it to me,
which
but I wasn't aware.
Perfectly fine with.
No, I wasn't aware until we actually started arguing. A lot of this stuff came out.
All right, now you're suing her for $2,000 for pain, suffering, and defamation of character and wasted time. Can I get wasted time? I love that. That's a new one on me. Wasted time.
All right,
tell me about that.
Get for wasted time.
Tell me the $2,000. What's that about?
Basically, she just told me things or what have you, and we lost contact because she was going through her own situation in her life. She was being sued, trying to sue someone.
What did you mean when you wrote a text saying that ACS was going to hear about her children?
It's been plenty of times, like, I've even had that in messaging, because it's been plenty of times where I've had to feed her kids. She says she has close to $1 million, but her kids literally beg for food all the time.
Okay, so you were going to call ACS and say, this lady doesn't feed her children.
Literally, because it's times, I'll give you a few examples. How about that? It's one time, we went to McDonald's, and me and her, I know we had just left the kids in the house, and right before we left, they were talking about how they were hungry. So as we go to McDonald's, I tell her, hey, are you going to get the kids something to eat? She's like, no, they'll be fine. I'll just make them what's in the house. It was nothing in the house.
That's what you're going to tell ACS?
No, but you're not letting me finish. We get back to the house. They're still running back and forth. I'm going to be completely honest. We smoke.
Are you?
We smoke weed. So we're in the house, we're
so that's
smoking
really
weed.
what you meant.
No.
What you meant was you were going to tell ACS about her weed smoking.
No. I didn't. Not even about that too, if she wanted to. But no, it was more so about the children. At the end of the day, she don't feed them. For the time frame that I was her friend, I fed those kids most of the time.
All right. On your counterclaim, 0. That does not make a case for pain, suffering, and defamation of character. On your claim against her, I am ordering you to pay back the $200 plus the $1,545. Plus the $300. You agree with the $300. That's why you had thought $1,845, right?
I know it was $1,845.
No, right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For a total of $2,045, which is money that she loaned you that I say you have to pay back. All right. If in fact today's date we were before that next event in August, I would say, hey, looks like you gave her until August, but that is well past our time frame here. So that is my verdict, a net judgment in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $2,045. Good luck, folks.
Thank you. Facts. Yo, I broke it in a joke.
I'm really not. And you still.
Okay, come on. Well, there is no love lost in this case. This argument's going on and on.
Exactly. This is just what happens when you have like jealous people. She's just mad because I was able to do something for her that she couldn't even complete for herself. And that's instead of being appreciative of the fact she decides to be nasty about it. No one's did anything wrong to her. No one stole any of her contacts. It's not my fault your people didn't like you no more, and they liked me.
You're gonna get
so
some money
back. Why they keep hitting me up?
And I got our money back.
This gonna be over now between
Tell
you?
Shanks to stop texting me.
You're getting your money back,
Thank
okay?
you. Yes, sir.
Goodbye. Good luck to you. Okay. Bye. This argument is continuing here.
I already told him you was a hoe when you was easy. That's why.
You got to cut this out now, okay? You're in court. You got to give it a hi. Oh, you turn so sweet.
Because you don't have nothing to do with it.
Absolutely. Thank goodness. Yes,
Hi.
thank goodness.
How can I help you?
Okay. How do you feel now? You lost the case?
No, I don't mind losing the case. I'm very aware that I owed her. You know, that was never the issue.
Okay.
The issue is how she went about it. You know what I mean? That was my thing. It's never an issue about paying her. I said that literally before I came here.
Right.
It's not about the money.
So it's over now between you, right? Totally? For sure.
For court.
For court.
It is.
You say in your company you make your own cocktails.
Yes.
Are they different from other cocktails?
Yes, I make like really exclusive, exotic drinks. The name of my company is Disrespectfully Drunk.
You mentioned
Follow me on Instagram.
Right, I just wondered if you did something really different.
Yes, I do.
Well, good luck. Okay. Don't tell me your secrets.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Harvey?
By the way, Doug, if you maliciously call Children's Services just because you're angry, you can get sued. And clearly, no habla español.
See.
Going inside the courtroom.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? Well, with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills. Wait, did I say job title yet? Get started today and see how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out it was my Coffee Mate. Coffee Mate Pina Colada and Thai iced coffee flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.
This is the plaintiff, Erica Simmons. She says the defendants towed her car and in the process damaged the engine. Now the car's totaled. That's right, they punctured the engine and all the oil leaked out. Now they won't take responsibility for their misdeeds and the horrible damage they caused. She is suing for $5,000, the value of her now worthless car. These are the defendants, Heather and Vincent. Heather says the plaintiff's a liar who's trying to get one over on them because she's mad her car was towed. They flatbed the cars they tow. There's no way they could puncture an oil pan. And even if they did, there'd be an engine full of oil on their brand new tow truck. The state would be all over them for hazardous oil spill, for crying out loud. Bottom line, they did nothing wrong. And they owe the plaintiff $0. They're accused of a slippery toe.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant towed her car and totaled it in the process. The defendant says the plaintiff's a liar and there was no damage, especially an oil pan puncture. It's the case of sore toe.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
All right, Ms. Simmons, your car was apparently left in the parking area of an apartment building for quite some time. It ended up getting towed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How long was it there?
It wasn't that long because...
How long is not that long?
Like a week, because my apartments, we can't have our car sitting no longer than a week if it's not functioning, it's not working, so
How do they know it's not working?
Because they have people walk around, because they have to check for like stickers, like if you stay out there, they put decals on our car, make sure the tag's up to date.
Was your tag up to date?
My car was sitting, it was fine.
I'm sorry, I don't know
Everything was fine, it's up to date, my car was fine.
So then how would they know that it had been sitting there?
I don't know.
Okay, it had to be. What was it you guys heard was the reason why you were being requested to tow?
The apartment complex called us and said they had an unregistered vehicle with no registration, and the registration stated that it was out of date since February of 2018, and this was on November 27th of 2018.
So, did they tell you how long the car had been sitting there?
No, they don't indicate that.
You're kind of assuming that it had been sitting there since February, but it might not have been.
Right.
She might have been driving around with an expired tag. All right, so in any event, the apartment building, and by the way, did you ever say to them, hey, why'd you tow my car? It was only 4 days?
Mm-hmm.
And what they tell you?
Because I had took my tag out my window because I don't like, my car was sitting there for like 4 days and someone had already stole my tag before, so I put it inside my car.
What did you put inside your car?
My tag. I put it in.
The license plate?
Yes, she said.
The entire license plate you put inside your car?
Because I locked my doors and put it in there. She said, we can't do that. We have to have it on back of the car.
Okay, so they ask you to tow, you tow, and how do you tow?
Also, the other thing, the car, it was stickered. It was stickered to advise the owner of the vehicle that the car's tag was out of date and it would be towed if it wasn't corrected.
And what was the date on the sticker?
The sticker was probably 2 days, 48 hours prior to it.
Do you have a picture of the date on the sticker?
We do have pictures for Your Honor.
So you end up towing the car. How is it you tow the car?
This vehicle was backed into the parking space, so we sent a car carrier, which is a rollback, and the car is attached with the 2 chains, and then it's pulled up onto the carrier. There's no way that anything can touch the oil pan of this vehicle.
Okay. It gets to your shop, and then you call because you go outside and you see your car's gone. So you find out what happened, then you call them, you go to their location to pick up the car, and what happens?
I go get my car out, and then it turns to like, it wouldn't do nothing, because normally it'll crank up, because the only thing was wrong was my crankshaft sensor was bad. So when I tried to drive it, it wouldn't do nothing. So I had to get it towed from out of their towing place to the shop, and he said that it had a hole in the engine oil pan. Okay, so I see that in the beginning of your complaint, what you say is, in December, I was having some problems with my car. It was drivable, but it kept cutting off. I took it to my mechanic, and he did a diagnostic. The crankshaft sensor went bad, so it needed to be replaced. At the time, I didn't have the money to fix it, so I had to wait until the next time I got paid. I drove my car back to my apartment complex and parked it there. When was the tow?
It was towed on November 27th, and it was picked up on November 30th.
All right, so when you go to pick it up, did you have proof of ownership of the car?
Yeah, I can't take it out of the gate without ownership. So
okay, and according to you, she had some trouble getting proof of ownership, or no?
She did. She called up, and she was very upset that we towed her vehicle without any explanation, which we told her the apartment complex actually had this vehicle towed, and we told her that she needed to have a current registration according to the state to drive it out, as well as insurance.
Okay.
So she called us back on the 29th because she was trying to get that, and stated that her car wouldn't start.
So she could just tow it without registration, right?
Yes.
She could, as long as she had a title stating that she is the owner.
And she did have a title, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so she gets it out, and then you take it to your mechanic, and this is the proof that you're giving me from the mechanic.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and what the mechanic says is Ms. Erica had no other problems on her Malibu except needed a CKS and camshaft sensor. There was no hole in the oil pan, no oil spill or puddle. From the picture, looked like oil pan was hit by a heavy force impact. You actually have a picture of the oil pan hole,
yes,
right?
And when I emailed her, she said that she'll get in contact with the driver and find out what happened. She said because the car was leaking oil. She said the driver said the car was leaking oil prior for them towing it, but that's not possible because if it was leaking, like it would have been like leaking, but that had to pour out from that. Like, and it would have been in my parking lot, and we get charged.
Well,
for
I don't know
stuff
how much oil you had in there to leak.
Oh no, I have
so really
to have
it doesn't
to drive.
You know, I'm less concerned over that than I am over the possibility of figuring out whether or not they could possibly make this whole through the towing process. What evidence do you have that they made that whole through the towing?
Because my car, they had to do that because my car was driving just fine. Because I'm in the nursing field, I have to drive to work every day.
Your car was not driving just fine.
In your own
complaint, you told me it wasn't driving fine.
For 4 days, like I'm saying, it'll crank up and it'll drive. I had no major problem. Like if I couldn't have cranked my car up and drove it to the front of my apartments, if that was there.
You're making these proclamations of what can and can't happen with that. And I know for a fact that you weren't driving your car because you're the one who said that you couldn't fix anything. And
after they towed my car, I couldn't drive it.
So do tow truck companies typically damage the cars that they tow?
No, they're designed in order to pick up the car specially.
Fair enough, ma'am?
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay, sir.
Absolutely not, man. I say no way.
Okay. Going inside the courtroom.
According to the driver and the tow sheets, you had no registration on the vehicle since February. Prove to me that you had registration between February and November on it.
It had a tag.
No. I don't want to hear you flapping gums. I want to see the proof of it because everybody's saying your registration was expired, and that was part of why they towed you. So I need to see the proof of your registration. That's easy.
I don't have my registration on me. They didn't tell me to bring my registration.
Can you figure it out some way? Because see what that tells me is the car's not driving between February and November. No, if you have no registration on it between February and November.
No, because in my apartment complex, they have a policy where if your car been sitting for too long, they have to get it towed. And apparently, I've been driving my car. I've been out there in apartments for a whole year.
Did she call you on the day it got towed, or called you 4 days later?
She did call on the day it was towed because she didn't have a valid registration and wasn't quite sure how she was going to be able to drive the vehicle out.
So you told her she would have to get a valid registration, and she said...
have the title.
Say it again.
Or have the title to pick up the vehicle. And then she called the 29th.
Do you have... how does it work in this is... What state is this?
This is Florida.
Oh, well, do you have a picture of the tag? I know how it works. Did you take a picture of the tag or no?
There was no tag on the vehicle.
There wasn't even a tag in the front window like
we don't go into the vehicle by law. We have to run a tag check.
No, but did you see a tag in the front window?
No, we did not.
Okay, and did you put it in the front window?
Yes, I did.
Why would you put it in the front window if you're worried about it getting stolen? If you put it in the front window, someone's going to know it's there and then steal it, break your window and steal it. That doesn't make any sense. I think you just say things like try to...
No, I know what goes on.
So why would you put it in the front window if the reason you're taking it off the back is your fear that
someone can take it, can't never access my car.
Say it again.
Can't no one access my car. That's why I put it inside my car and lock my doors.
Really?
Yes, because I have...
No one's ever broken a window and taken something of value?
Yeah, but it's cameras, right? I'm not thinking nobody gonna make noise and break my window.
Wouldn't the cameras catch somebody taking the valid tag off the back too? Like every other car there that has a valid tag?
I backed my car in by a whole bunch of bushes.
All right, let me ask you a question. Why are you suing for $5,000?
My car is total, it's damaged.
Right. Where do you get the idea that your car's worth $5,000? Because the Blue Book value is $3,000 something. In good condition, and you had a beat-up car that had a problem. Beat-up car is not right. You had a car that had a mechanical problem that you've acknowledged, so where would you be entitled to $5,000?
For pain and suffering, I had to spend
Okay, you know what? You're putting me in pain and suffering. Based on what I am listening to, and based on what I know about how cars get towed, that damage cannot possibly get done the way that this tow happened. In fact, it can't even get done in the old-fashioned ways that tows happen. I don't see how the tow company could have done that. But even if I could see it, you would have to prove that they did before being entitled to any money. And I don't see how you're able to prove that with this. So my verdict is for the defendants.
So the plaintiff just can't convince the judge. Unfortunately, Ms. Simmons, you've lost the case here. What are you thinking right now?
That's fine because guess what? God sit high and look low, and they know they damaged my car, and it's okay because he blessed me with something brand new, and it doesn't even matter. So,
man, them people, the devil, they know they did that. Y'all know y'all did that. Y'all just need to own up to it and start lying. Y'all gonna pay for y'all sins, though. Karma driving on your road. Believe that.
Sorry about that, okay? You must sign a few documents on your way out of the courtroom. Heather and Vincent are on their way out of the courtroom now. Do you get sued very often for things like this?
We get some frivolous lawsuits at times. We don't have real lawsuits because if there is damage done, we go ahead and do the right thing and take care of it prior to it ever going to this.
I mean, when you do a flatbed tow, that's the safest way you can do it, isn't it?
There are all safe ways if you use professional drivers and they're trained properly.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Thank you very much. Okay. Case is over. Harvey?
Okay, I mean, look, even if the plaintiff proved her case, you can never get more than the value of the item at the time of the loss. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Good night, itchy eyes. Good night, sudden sneeze. Good night to your symptoms of allergies. Zysol is the allergy medicine you take before bed. It provides powerful relief while you rest your head. Not just all night, but all the next day. Zysol keeps working, keeping allergies at bay. And without those annoying symptoms disturbing your rest, you can wake up the next morning feeling your absolute best. Remember, be wise all. Take Zysol. At night.
This is the plaintiff, Charles Miller. He says he helped the defendant out because they had a mutual friend, and he let her live with him, and the ingrate never gave him a dime. He thinks she wanted to have a romantic relationship so she could live rent-free, but he wasn't interested. After he rebuffed her advances, she moved out, and he's now owed $2,747.09 in rent and damages to his car, which she caused. That's why he's suing. This is the defendant, Gabrielle Bullmash. She says she and the plaintiff dated for 5 years in high school, and he invited her to live with him for a month rent-free while she got settled at her new job. After the month was over, she moved out of his place and moved in with the plaintiff's best friend, his boss. The guy's scorned and is acting out by filing this lawsuit, only because he's upset their relationship didn't work out. And she's now with his friend. She's accused of taking advantage of an old high school flame.
All parties, please use your ready.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff let the defendant live with him, but she wanted a romantic relationship, and when he said no, she left without paying. The defendant says they dated for 5 years before, and he's the one who got jealous. It's the case of, want to hear a bad idea?
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Miller, the two of you know each other from high school?
Yes.
All right, how did you two know each other in high school? Did you date?
We grew up down the street from each other. We dated a bit in high school, yes.
How long did you date?
4 years.
Oh, that's a big jump.
That was 10 years ago.
That's not a bit, especially in high school. That's a really long bit. That's all of high school.
It was also about a decade ago.
No, I know. But that's all of high school. That's high school lasts 4 years. All right. So how did you guys reconnect, or had you stayed connected?
We hadn't stayed connected, but I reached out to her over Facebook to start being friends again, I guess. And after talking for a few months was when she realized she wanted to move to Florida. I needed a roommate, and that's when we decided to enter into the
arrangement. Okay, so you live where, Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, yes.
All right, so you invite her to be your roommate?
Yes.
All right, do you come up with any plan on what the rent would be?
Yes, we had agreed on $450 a month in rent and splitting utilities. And I have proof of that being discussed.
I'd like to see that.
Yes.
What proof do you have? Is it
I have
Facebook,
messages.
or?
I have messages on Facebook as well as text messages. Unfortunately, and this is my own lack of foresight, I didn't get a lease signed.
Okay, you can stay where you are. Don't approach me. That's why my bailiff is there.
All right, thanks.
He gets all kinds of hanky and nervous and anxious when people approach me.
I totally understand.
Oh my God, I can't read that. That's like 1.5.
I know. I have a terrible printer. Can't afford a new one.
Okay, let's start with it's upside down. That's how much I can't read it.
Okay.
When does she move in with you? Listen,
August 1st.
You're young.
Yep.
How old are you?
29.
Okay, let me explain to you what judge-friendly font is. Okay. It's not 1-point font.
Sorry.
All right, so she moves in with you when?
August 1st.
So what exactly are these? These are messages within Facebook?
So they're messages within Facebook where we discuss the cost of rent being $450 a month, and she says $450 is okay with her, and she can handle it.
Do any of them predate her moving down?
Before her moving down?
Yeah.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, well, how did you two decide what rent would be before moving down?
We decided it over the phone. We had many phone conversations and agreed on $450.
How does this happen on every single case where people tell me, here's the proof that we had the rent?
I know. It's my fault, and I trusted a friend.
Okay. Well, no,
but if you look at the
communicating
messages,
through Facebook, and you guys are of a generation that take pictures. The food eats before you do. I mean, everything is in writing. So why isn't that here?
Understood. But every time I bring up the 450, it's not refuted by her. She doesn't say that wasn't.
Okay, that's a different level of proof than what I'm saying. I would
Right.
love.
I understand. I would love that
so
level of
just
proof,
say
too.
no, judge, I don't. All
No,
right.
judge, I don't.
So okay. So now she moves in with you on what day?
August 1st.
August 1st. And then what happens?
So she moved out December 1st. I have a written notice and an email from
So
her.
she lived with you how long?
She lived with me, rented for me for the 4 months.
Did she pay rent ever during those 4 months?
Not once, not a dime.
So why didn't you throw her out the first month?
Because I was trusting a friend. In the conversation, she kept saying, I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to get money to pay you. I'm not trying to screw you over. And I kept saying, there comes a point where I'm going to have to take this to court after 6 months. They won't let you bring it up in small claims.
How long were you there?
1 month.
When were you there?
August 1st until August 30th or 31st.
And what happened on August 31st?
I moved in with my boyfriend.
Then why does the email say October 1st? The email
What
says she moved
email?
out October 1st.
What email?
Oh, here, I can provide it here.
Judge, may I?
I have an email from her saying on November 7th, she's providing written notice that she'll no longer be renting from me effective December 1st, as she says she hasn't lived there since October 1st. However, I have text
As you are aware, I have not been living at your house since October 1st. This is my written notice that effective December 1st, I won't be paying rent for a residence at which I'm not living.
Right, but then why did you still have the key?
So why
and
does
not-
that say that?
The last month that I was there, which according to that would be the second month that I was there, was a slow, gradual.
No, that would be August, September, so that'd be 2 full months there, and then you're testifying in what this email says is that you say on November 7th, hey, I haven't been there all of that last month, so I'm giving you notice now that I'm no longer living there. I presume you had stuff still there between.
Correct.
I need you to stop.
Understood.
Between October 1st and November 7th, you still had stuff there.
Yes, I did. I had.
So then that would be 3 months that you were staying there. My question to you is, what was the agreement between you guys before you? Where did you come from? You came from somewhere else?
Yes.
Where?
I came from Maryland.
From Maryland.
Yes.
All right. So before you moved to Florida, what was the agreement between you guys about rent?
Would you ever let a former boyfriend or girlfriend move in with you?
It would depend how desperate they are and how long we dated, but likely no.
Would it depend on anything?
A lot to depend on. This happened to a friend and she did it and it was okay. It worked out okay.
Really? Huh. Okay, I didn't expect to hear that going inside the courtroom.
The agreement was the first 30 days I wouldn't have to pay rent because the agreement in rent amount was never fully agreed upon. And if you go back through those messages.
But what was your plan? You were moving from Maryland to Jacksonville. What did you think was the plan? If you're saying that he gave you the first month free, that would be, by your testimony, that would be August. Well, then what were you supposed to be paying in September and October when September when you were there, October when your stuff was still there?
Well, we hadn't ever fully solidified that. My comments of trying to get him money.
But I do see that you have messages to him in the tiny, tiny font in the middle of September talking about rent.
Yes, he was a friend of mine for a very long time. At that point in time, my mindset was whether I particularly agreed with it or not, I was trying to save what was left of the friendship. I did try to make or give him small increments of money to keep the peace.
Did you pay him a penny?
No.
Okay, but can you explain to me what you think you do owe? Because it sounds like you're saying that you think you do owe some rent. What is it you're saying?
I truthfully don't remember. So if that is what I said in writing, then that's what I'll stand by.
When did you start dating his boss and best friend?
I'm sorry. The end of.
You both thought it was funny, so apparently I'm not hurting anyone. Go ahead.
The end of August.
Okay. When did you move in with his boss and best friend?
The end of August.
Okay. When did she move in with your boss and best friend?
So she started staying at his place more often, and I spoke with both her and the friend, and they both confirmed with me that they weren't sure, but that it would be maybe temporary. So she was still leaving her stuff in my place and still kept the key. I have a text message.
From when? Since when?
Since early October.
Early October, not August, like she's saying.
Not August, no.
Okay, so did you have a problem with her dating your boss and best friend?
I'm the one that set them up.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then how is he a man scorned if he set you up?
I don't seem very scorned, huh?
Well, according to you, she also crashed your car?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
She backed her car into the stone wall of the friend.
She backed your car?
My car.
Into what?
For the first, a small stone gate that's in the front of the boyfriend's house.
Okay. Did that happen?
Yes, to an extent.
What does that mean?
It's a stone, a ditch cover. It's not a gate, or it's very small. And I did bump into it. At the time, the boyfriend is very car savvy. The rear reflector had popped off of it. Right then and there, we had offered to go and get a new one and replace it right there in the driveway. The plaintiff said that to not worry about it.
Is that a picture of the damage?
Yes. That's the rear fender being pushed out. There's the impact point where the reflector was. And I got a quote from a reputable shop. I took it to a shop.
Can I see the quote?
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing for $1,800 in rent from August to December. Did you ever say to her that the first month would be on you?
No, we had discussed various different things, but when we finally
and all those things that you discussed, none of them are in writing.
Correct.
The only writing I have is afterwards, where you're saying $450 or $400, whatever you can afford,
right?
But something, and that isn't until September 17th.
Yes.
Okay, and then where do I see anything about her agreeing to pay for utilities separate from that?
I don't have that listed.
Do you have another roommate now?
I do. Yes, I live with my current girlfriend.
And why are you also charging December? I thought that email said...
I'm not charging December. I'm charging
That's
August.
what your complaint says. August through December rent.
I have a spreadsheet here. Of all the
Okay, let me
load.
see your spreadsheet.
I have August, September, October, November. That's just 4 months,
Okay.
which totals to $1,800 at $450 a month.
Okay. Do you have any proof that you were told that you could skate on the first month's rent?
I do not.
I'm finding in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,800 in rent as well as the car damage. I don't see any evidence anywhere that she's supposed to pay utilities separately. That
Understood.
total is $2,467.12.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, the plaintiff has convinced the judge, and you're on the hook. $2,400. What you think?
That's her ruling. That's her ruling.
Your move from Maryland to Florida, lots of changes real quick, right?
Yes, sir.
You started dating his boss?
I did.
And moved in almost right away?
I did.
And look at you now.
Yep. Living the dream.
Living the dream. All right. Well, good luck with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm going to sign some documents. All right, Mr. Miller. Good for you. You convinced the judge. She decided
convinced her of
quickly.
the truth, yes.
Yeah, she really did.
Mhm.
Okay. What have you learned from all of this?
To get a lease agreement and I guess not be so generous with friends.
Okay. Do you have a lease agreement between the two of you?
No.
You don't
Guess
need
I haven't
it.
learned my lesson yet, have I?
All right. Congratulations.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Harvey?
This is a really good idea, Doug, on how important it is to memorialize the deal you make with a roommate. Find out what rent you pay, utilities, food, everything else. Get it in writing.